never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer, fine.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a Friday. Hopefully everybody is looking forward to the weekend and looking forward to either the last week of the regular season in high school football or the first week of the playoffs in high school football, depending on what state you live in, because each state is different. Some states do kick off their playoffs tonight, and some states are having the last week of the regular season tonight. And hopefully everybody is excited about another big week in the world of college football. Of course, it's already underway with Tuesday night games, Wednesday night games, and Thursday night games, but it will continue tonight and, of course, all day long tomorrow. And hopefully I will see some of you wrestling fans tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, bell time, 6 o'clock, doors open for Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, 405 Community Court in Monroe, Georgia. And today, I want to talk some wrestling. Want to preview the WWE Crown Jewel that is coming up tomorrow. But before I talk about that, let me first talk about the comments that Kyrie Irving made. I believe it was on Wednesday, because he is off to a terrible start for the Nets. Now, anybody that has followed the channel for any period of time at all, if you've seen any of my NBA videos that I've done, you know by now that I am not a Kyrie Irving fan, but usually it's because of the fact that he just cannot play basketball. As far as injuries go, as far as talent goes, he can play basketball if he plays, but your talent only does you good if you play. And he's one of those players that looks for reasons to not play basketball. If you walk by him and cough, he'll be out of action for 3 months, and that's useless. I don't care how good you are and how much talent you have. If you're not on the court, you're useless. But he's always had a bad habit of saying some of the most off-the-wall, stupid stuff you've ever heard. He's one of those guys that believes pretty much every conspiracy theory conceivable. Kyrie Irving believes it. And they say the problem is his IQ is so high, his brain goes so many directions it makes him stupid. I don't know if that's true or if he's just stupid. But his last game, he was terrible. And after the game, he pretty much in a roundabout way, not verbatim, but pretty much said that the NBA is rigged and Adam Silver has some kind of something inside the basket that makes his shots not go in, and Adam Silver sits back at his office with a remote control in his hands and makes sure that Kyrie Irving's shots don't go in. Now, first of all, that's just the big bunch of hogwash I ever heard in my life. Second of all, we know it ain't true, because the way the NBA loves LeBron James, if they had a remote control to make sure your shots went in, LeBron James would never miss a shot, so we know that ain't true. But you talking about a guy that's just out there in left field. Kyrie Irving's on a field all by himself. The rest of the world could be in one place, and Kyrie Irving is way over here all by himself. That man is just loopy. But anyway, on to WWE Crown Jewel, which comes up tomorrow at noon over in Saudi Arabia. It will be the fourth installment of the WWE Crown Jewel pay-per-view. Now, there was talk earlier this week that they were going to move the pay-per-view from Saudi Arabia. As a matter of fact, I believe it was Wednesday, there was actually a rumor going around that the WWE had decided to not have it in Saudi Arabia, but since it was too soon to move it, they were going to have it at their performance center in Orlando. But last night, word went around that that was not true. They're still having it inside Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia has told WWE that everything will be fine, so hopefully it will be. Any early thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. There's 8 matches signed so far. Of course, we still have SmackDown coming up tonight, but 8 matches is a lot, so I don't think they're going to add any more, but they might. But so far, the crown jewels they've had have all been very entertaining. I don't expect anything different coming up tomorrow. But we have Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul for the undisputed Universal Championship. I would love for Logan Paul to shock the world and walk out with the title, but I just do not think that is going to happen. And then we have a 6-man tag team match. The OC, which of course is Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles, against Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Damian Priest. And then we have a one-on-one match, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Now, Bobby Lashley has been wanting this feud for about 5 years, and they never did do it. I'm so glad that they're finally doing it. And for all the Brock Lesnar haters, you should be happy that he's back. He's wrestling, but he's not wrestling in any kind of a championship storyline. This is one-on-one, and it does not involve any belt. So all the Brock Lesnar haters that always complain about Brock showing back up and getting the belt, this time we know that's not going to happen. But this should be a really good match, and I think they should have went for it years ago when Bobby Lashley first wanted to do it. I'm glad they're doing it now. Hopefully it's not too late. And then we have Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a steel cage match. Now, I don't like Karrion Kross at all. If you watch this video and you like him, please feel free to let me know that you do and why you do, because in my personal opinion, Karrion Kross is the most generic wrestler in the history of mankind. If you had a WWE video game and they told you to build a generic wrestler, I picture Karrion Kross. He's average height, he's average weight, he's average look, he's an average wrestler, he's got average music, he's got an average moveset. He's just average generic in every sense of the phrase. But I feel bad for him because last week on SmackDown, he got no reaction at all from the crowd. There might have been 10 people that were there that actually stood up and booed. Everybody else just sat there on their hands like bumps on logs. And if you're a wrestler and you don't get any kind of reaction from the crowd, that's doomsday. Because it don't matter if you're good or bad. You want some kind of reaction from the crowd. And Karrion Kross just does not connect with the crowd. And that's why I'm so glad they finally put Baron Corbin with JBL, because Baron Corbin is just like Karrion Kross, with the only exception being Baron Corbin can actually wrestle. But other than that, Baron Corbin is generic in every sense of the phrase. But he can wrestle. But they've changed his gimmick so many times. He's just never connected with the crowd, so they finally put him with JBL and let JBL be his mouthpiece, so Baron Corbin might finally do something now. But Karrion Kross is just the most average, basic, generic wrestler ever. He is the living, breathing definition of a generic wrestler. Then we have Braun Strowman versus Omos, and a monster versus monster match. And then we have a last woman standing match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair against Bayley. And on a side note, the WWE announced yesterday that starting next year, Bianca Belair and her husband, who is one half of the Street Profits, in case you did not know, are getting their own TV show. Not sure if it's going to be a comedy or a drama or both, but they are getting their own TV show next year. So congratulations to Bianca Belair and her husband. And then we have the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And then in a rematch from Raw for the Women's Tag Team Championships, we have Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Damage Control. So all that's coming up tomorrow with the fourth installment of the WWE Crown Jewel pay-per-view, and it will come your way at noon tomorrow. The reason why it starts at noon is because they're overseas, and it will be nighttime over in Saudi Arabia. And don't forget, tomorrow night before you go to bed, set your clocks back, get that extra hour of sleep. I won't. I will more than likely be up and still be up when the time changes, so I will not get that extra hour of sleep. But everybody else, set your clocks back before you go to bed and get that extra hour of sleep and wake up feeling refreshed and energized on Sunday morning. Any thoughts on the pay-per-view tomorrow, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What would you name a camel with no humps? Hump-free. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.